in a different lens. For us here in Uganda, we tweak the theme a little bit, and the theme is equal opportunities in education, science and technology for innovation and gender equal futures. Now, I am privileged to be joined by women that I get to celebrate this day with this morning. I do have Honorable Evelyn Chemtai, who is the Woman Member of Parliament, Buko. You are most welcome, Honorable.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day to you too.
It's our day.
That's very true. And then we're also joined by Justine Nawire, who is a coordinator with the Uganda Women's Network. Happy Women's Day to you, beautiful lady.
Happy Women's Day and good morning. I'm glad to be here.
Okay. So based on the theme of this year when it comes to Women's Day, innovation, technology and equal opportunities and education and science, there is a lot of inequality, but at the end of the day, we need to first understand, what does this mean for us as women? How can we interpret it as women? I'll start with you, Honorable.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning, viewers, and happy Women's Day to all Ugandans, the boys, the girls, yeah, and the men out there.
That's true.
Yeah. When you talk of first of all, we need to look at the theme. Let's first break down. Look at the education sector. How are we doing as women? How are the girls going to school? Do you have all that it takes to have a girl at school with all those disadvantages of being a girl? You know what it means when being a girl is early marriage, is this pregnancy, early pregnancies, and all other things that have made the girl child to fall out of education, especially the rural girl. They start from nursery, P1 so well. By the time they reach P7, the percentage goes down. Look at the performance, P7, Senior 4, and S6. Though the girl tries, but still, we still have a disadvantage. And that's why the inequality equation is still a point to look at. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Justin, in terms of the theme this year, given the spectrum of Uganda and with the network that you work with, what's your understanding and dissection of this theme?
Thank you so much, Priscilla. Good morning once again. I'm called Justine Nawire, and I work with Uganda Women's Network as a legal officer, at the same time a coordinator. For those who may not be knowing about Uganda Women's Network, it's a national NGO registered here in Uganda, and it's a lead advocacy organization that takes on the advancing the rights of women and girls. And the strength that we have as Uganda Women's Network is that we work with members and allies. We are a network organization that has been into existence now for, we are going to celebrate 30 years this very year. Yes. And we are busy planning for when it at 30. So that shows you the period we've been into existence. This was born in 1993 as a result of the East African, when the women came together when they were going for that Benjamin conference, and that's how WONET was born, as a result of many national women's organizations. So we take on the national women's organizations that front the issues of women and girls, and we've been into advocacy, as I said, for now 30 years. Well, I'm glad for this very year that we've been discussing so many issues to do with women, but this time round I'm glad technology has come on board. Why technology? Because where we are heading, Priscilla, you realize that the world is moving at a very faster pace. So there is no way we are going to leave technology behind. Otherwise, we shall wake up when we are in another world. So
we shall be left behind.
We shall be left behind, which we do not want. So you realize that talking about technology, it comes with so many advantages. As we know, it eases up a lot of work, ranging from all sectors of life, and this includes where most of the women are involved. Talk about access to justice, talk about the health, talk about the agriculture sector, talk about the unpaid care work. You know, when technology comes in, it eases most of the work, and as we've seen so far, there are things which are moving faster. If we go to businesses, technology is really supporting us, and more so when it comes to women, you know, who are the backbone of agriculture. And now when we have technology being involved or accelerated, if we come to education, if we come to access to justice, you know, we are moving from a time where you have to do things manually, or you have to move distances to acquire whatever you want. And so when we begin talking about technology, it's very key, and this is the right time. More so now that we've come from a pandemic that, you know, actually we can see that the level of technology was so much increased as a result of COVID. So many lessons came out, and one key lesson that stood out, that there is no way we can leave technology with so many things, you know, crop up during this time. Innovations and, you know, getting to access services, not necessarily going there, but as a result of sitting and you're able to access services. So when we come to say business, when we come to say about the economy, talk about the access to justice, talk about the leaders. I know, I mean, even if when we are talking about technology, many people, Priscilla, are limited to computer, online. But let's go just to the level of a grassroots woman who has a phone. You know, a phone is one step of tapping into what?
The digital era.
Digital environment, whether online or offline. A woman in the village can easily pick up a call and call someone and tell him, I have my maize here.
Pick it up.
Pick it up and send me money via my phone, and I'll be seated and receive my message. That is the smallest and lowest levels of starting with technology. I mean, by then, if I had my maize like harvested, I don't have a phone, I can't access the world, and now we are in COVID, locked up, I would stay with my maize.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get the money.
The circles actually came through
exactly
to aid, the trend.
So now technology comes in to aid some of these. I'll make sure I don't need to move to Mobende. I don't need to move to wherever, but I'll be sure my maize will go, and I'll get my money without necessarily moving. So we can see just at the lowest level how technology is really helping us.
Actually, you can Google and find out who has what.
Exactly. So now it gets to another level for the few who can be exposed now to online. Yes, you can Google and post your products, and someone will look and see and give you a call. And it's about just on your table, and everything is moving. You see, this is the power of technology that we are talking about.
But you see, you're talking about that power, but then there's the question of accessibility.
Accessibility
now. For Vision 2040, you get to look at, you know, the national framework fronting ICT as a fundamental aspect to usher us into the transformation, modern and prosperous country that we ought to be. Now, turning to you, Honorable Chamtai, in regards to situation analysis, where do we stand when it comes to ICT accesses and utilization?
Actually, we are still below 40%, especially from the rural perspective. When you look at, we've talked about technology, but there are these drivers that make technology work. For example, you must have electricity to charge, to have those gadgets charged, the phones and the computers and so on. But you find that most rural areas do not have power. So it's a task for us, the government, to make sure that we have rural electrification to every village, to every woman. We also have the gadgets, like the phones themselves, are expensive. Not everyone can afford. So it limits to the few who can have a little money to buy them. We also have, I think, data
data gap.
Exactly. In our country, I must confess, we spend a lot of money to buy data.
To be online.
And the education sector still comes in. To have all this Google and so on, you must have gone to school so that you can have to be also on the same pace with others, to Google, know what's there, to sell what you have. Even the mobile money thing, you should be knowing how much money you have, where can you access this, otherwise you'll be stolen. So all these things they still come back to the starting point.
You have mentioned the word data, and let's look at data that is supposed to inform policy makers, lawmakers to make more informative decisions. If we're going to achieve these equal opportunities for education, for science and for technology, do we have the data to support that? Because unless it exists, you people are going to keep pushing it under the table, under the bedroom.
No, I think it's just because we've just come into technology, and these are some of the things we are realizing. Oh, I think we need to reduce, we need to work on the costs for data. We need to work with the companies like MTN, Airtel, and see how to reduce maybe their taxes so that the data or the airtime or whatever they sell should be at a lower cost, because government has subsidized their taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about in terms of statistics. You were earlier alluding to the fact that lack of statistics has been one of the challenges you've been facing in the area that you represent, wanting to help women. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually, statistics is a key thing, but in Uganda, we don't have real statistics on most issues. Like if I wanted to know the number of women in a specific place, you find there are gaps. I wanted to know the number of business women before they are given money for WEP, that is Uganda Women Entrepreneurship. They told me, the person who was supposed to have told me, we are not very sure of the number. So I was asking, how do you give out this money if you don't have data on the number of women who are already engaged in business? Do you have to collect every person and give them the money? Definitely you will not achieve the intended goal. So data is also key. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of data, you do have women being part of the larger population globally, 250 million women, and this is about 37%. And when it comes to access to internet, to data or technological services, it's even more challenging. So you get to have women making up only about 22%, which is really a drop in the ocean. Now, in light of that data, how can this be revised to fit the objective that we are looking at this year? I'll turn to you, Justin.
How are we going to increase that number from 22% to see that we have all the women be able to access all the advantages that we are looking up to for technology? I'm glad that Honorable has just hinted on some of the areas. You know, talking about technology, when most of the villages do not have power, cannot access power, and you know, technology with power, they are more or less brother and sister. So what is going to happen is we have to look forward to see, let's start with electrification, rural. Let's have power. Let government, and that program has been on, I don't know the rate at which it is running. I don't know whether it has stopped. Maybe Honorable will guide us there. But at least I'll got to know, or I got to be aware that the process is going on. Most of the villages are being electrified. So if we can accelerate one of those points, I think it's going to help us so much. But also the other thing is the government had issues to do with adult learning. You see, it goes back to technology comes with some literacy. So why many women are staying back, why this percentage is too slow or low, I mean, it's because most of our women are illiterate. You know, they do not know what to do. Even if you bought for your old mama in the village a knife, I say an iPhone or say an Android or any smartphone. The much they will do is they will do the receiving and calling. They don't know that it is just beyond receiving and calling. Why? Because they do not know the technicalities, the details, the scaling of how do I manage this technology. But for starters, let's have adult learning restored. Let's have basics being taught, you know, and those enrollments made. We shall see more women, even as much as they are illiterate, we shall see them, the number of the literate women will increase at such levels, at various levels. So I could really say, if we want to see this number increased, if we want to see more women get on this bus of technology, one, let's have, first of all, the services availed. If we are talking of services in agriculture, let's have the agriculture sector boosted, because this is, I mean, the backbone of women. This is the beginning of everything. We are talking of data. You've just talked about data. If these taxes are still high, you know, I would rather keep my money under the pillow and I'll wait for the man who's coming to come,
1,000 shillings,
who's coming to buy my charcoal, my cassava, and I give, because I'm sure.
Because it's inconveniencing on either side of the trade.
Exactly. The other one has to withdraw, this one has to send. Those costs, if they are very high, I mean, we shall see many women step back. Like if I'm meant to receive 100,000, for example, I'll end up getting 90,000. Why? Or 95? There is a lot of 5,000 that has been lost from somewhere, and maybe that could be my profit. So I'll sit back and not board your bus of technology of having mobile transactions to have my business run. I'll sit with my money and wait until the other person will move from Mobenda and come and buy.
Although when you look at it, the reverse is also true. That these increments, okay, these extra expenses perhaps are there to aid technology, because they exist for a reason. So MTN cannot give you a service and not be paid for offering you that service. They are offering you the convenience of being in your home, transacting, and
without necessarily you moving.
But by the way, there are those other costs involved.
It's a two-way.
Transport. No. I mean, if you must move, you have to.
Exactly.
It is okay. It's okay, Honorable. But you see, when the charges are higher, you know, because these companies increase their charges, because there is another pressure coming on, there is another, you know, we are being charged highly, we are paying high taxes.
Maybe taxes.
So the user, the end time user should
suffer the
exactly. They want to take care of whatever action that has been taken on. So it starts from above. When the above is better, the company will be better, and then finally
the end user.
The end user
maybe
will be better.
what Justin is saying, government should revise the taxes on these communication companies, so that woman in the village does not suffer carrying the tax burden at the end and at the end use. There's something Justine asked about power, the rural electrification. Actually, what I know, the government is doing a lot. It's trying to have power source gotten from our local rivers. We have there's one in the north, I think it's Ngoya. Then there's also Karuma. Even in my own village, in Bukwa, we have what we call sit hydropower. We have there are a few kilowatts, but they are brought to the national grid, so that they can raise the amount of power to be distributed in the whole country.
All right, let's the sun is yellow this morning in Chihura, where you're going to be having the celebrations of Women's Day at Sanga Playground in Sanga Town Council. Thank you so much, Norbert, for keeping us on ground with what's taking place there. Later on, we'll be bringing you the full celebration. So this morning, we do continue with our conversation. Of course, I do have Honorable Evelyn Chemtai, Woman Member of Parliament, Boko, and Justin Nabwire, who is the coordinator and also legal advisor with the Uganda Women's Network, continuing on the conversation of women's engagement in education, science and technology. And turning to you, Justin, with the work that UONET is doing currently, if we were to do surveys of women, for example, in journalism, where you do have UN having done a survey in 125 countries and finding it that 73% of them actually suffer online violence in the course of the kind of work they do. Now, what are those challenges that women, or obstacles that are faced by women as far as technology and advancement are concerned?
Thank you so much, Patricia. You realize that, yes, as much as we've been talking about the advantages of technology, but also when it comes now to women, I'll narrow down now this time maybe to social media. In this case, you realize that even as much as this has turned out to be a global conversation, in that you can be all on the same table at the same time and discuss the same thing, social media has been a key platform to hold. It can destroy or it can, you know, lift, depending on how you use it. But what we've seen, what has been happening is this is the time where we've seen a lot of harassment, a lot of bullying, a lot of hate speech, a lot of threats, in that you're now a honorable, you know that someone can just wake up in the morning and can't attack you physically, but can mean to attack you just online.
Yeah.
And trust me, it is so fast. Remember, it's far-reaching. So some people have used this platform or this technology in such a way. I come in just to destroy you if I decide to use it online.
Okay.
I'll just wake up with one tweet or one statement. And I mean, this has pulled so many people a lot of, you know, hate speech. Even now, Priscilla, we are at the moment in that even if you just posted your picture, now I'm not going to talk about nude or whatever, just a normal picture, the way you're seated and you just pose while you're in the studio.
Someone will subject
You know,
your
someone will
opinion to
just
it.
begin commenting from nowhere,
Right.
a very hate statement, and you're like, okay, so what have I done?
What relation do you have with the person in the first
I mean,
place?
you don't know the person, but trust me, someone will just wake up and make a very horrible statement. And, you know, if you read it, trust me, it will also affect you. And it's like, okay, I don't know what I've done. What's wrong with me?
Apart from that, there is this thing where they tag you, you know. They may get my picture. It has been happening to us politicians.
Yeah.
They get your pic, they get some ugly pic, merge it with you, and that is you, you know.
Or the picture 10 years ago and the picture
Exactly.
today.
And you know, one thing we should never forget is that technology does not forget.
Yeah.
It will keep
The internet
records.
doesn't forget.
So if it is a bad record, it will forever be a bad record. If it is a good record, it will forever be a bad record. So,
Okay.
and you realize that majority of the people who have faced all this harassment, online harassment, they've been women. It's very easy to attack a woman online than even
So
a man.
as I come back to you in terms of solutions, I think
Yeah.
for us here as the government of Uganda, you've had a wonderful solution, affirmative action seats for Uganda. Looking at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, the leadership, of course, you do have Honorable Amongi Betty, Minister, and then you do have Honorable Mutuzo Peace, who's the Minister in charge of Gender and Culture Affairs. You also do have another woman, Honorable Asamo Helen, Minister for State for Disability Affairs. Then you also have Honorable Sarah Mateke, Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs. That is a really balanced out leadership under the ministry. So the affirmative action that government has taken, these positions that they've opened up to what extent can we use them to actually tap into the theme?
Yeah, and actually at the top, as you've mentioned, we have women at the in greater positions. Apart from Ministry of Gender, you know, the Prime Minister is a woman, the Vice President is a woman, the Speaker is a woman, and those are the pillars. Yeah, we can use them to support, but still there's that woman thing. And one amazing thing is we have great women at the pillar, but down at the grassroots, the women are still suppressed. Look at the LC3 chairpersons, where decisions are made at sub-county level. I think in Uganda we have less than 5.
Yeah.
Look at the chairperson, LC5, at the district level. There are less than 10 women. Out of all these
What
100,
chairpersons?
yes, out of 100 and plus.
So what is the solution of changing it at the grassroots?
The solution is, of course, to empower that woman so that they are able to compete with men and hold these positions.
Yeah.
When you even go to the constituency level, most of these women MPs you're talking about have come under affirmative action. Like Asamo came under disabilities, and they raised women members of parliament. Apart from Honorable Betty, among who came through the direct seat. Go to the constituency. I think we have less than 10 women.
Who are
10 or
direct?
12, we are direct seat. So you find we are there still, but we still have that stigma.
Okay.
We still need to be boosted so that we can stand on our own.
And towards the gender-based violence that is yet to be experienced by any woman tapping into the innovation and technology for gender equality, what's the solution? How should they handle it, Justin?
Right now, I'll start with a community, which is us, which is everyone, because change begins with me. The people must know that this is wrong. People must know that you can respect, to respect a woman or a young girl. It starts from maybe the home, our settings, the values we hold to them, the pride that we hold for women. If you respect a woman, it means you will not really attack them physically or online. It starts with you. So I would say let's start with a community. Can we all just decide to respect each other, to respect women, know that what I'm doing, this posting, this hate speech, this bullying, it's going to pull her down. So, and then the other thing, of course, we already have the law in place, but the challenge we have, Priscilla, in this country is that we have very good laws, but it goes back to the Honorable. They do a lot of work. When it comes to laws, we have many of them, and we appreciate.
There's a saying that we create very good laws, but are implemented in other countries.
Exactly. Wow. So you realize people pick lessons from us,
right,
and they go and it works for them.
That's true. That's
but now when it comes to us,
yet we also pick them from other countries,
from another country,
here,
and we come and put it on the shelf,
right,
you know. But I mean, who knows? Yesterday I was just having a show at Radio 1, and I got to know about a toll-free that they do have the ICT, UCC, that you can call in case of any online harassment or violence. And according to them, they'll have remedy on how to help you, because, you know, it comes with a lot of technicalities. Some things happen when you're online. It's just beyond your phone and your gadget. There's a lot going behind. So they can help you and see, maybe they can track the person who, you know, user protection.
Okay.
But who knows? I asked the ICT team, how many people know that we have these toll frees?
Well, not so many people, and that's where the challenges are. That while at the helm of leadership, it all looks like we have done the work. It exists, but then it comes down to the grassroots woman and what has been their education of what is available for them to tap into in order to then enlarge their wings into the digital space. So closing this conversation, let me take Women's Day messages from each one of you. Honorable Chamtai, what's your message to the women watching this morning, and to Uganda as a whole, and to men?
Yeah, of course, definitely. We can't walk without our brothers. My message this morning is that tell the women that we need to move on, we need to stand firm and make sure that our families are an example to this nation, because a woman is the backbone of a family, and family begins with us. So women out there, let's work hard and make sure that we shine in this nation, we shine in our homes, we shine in places that we come from. And of course, to the people of Bukwa district, the women, I love you, and I know we are moving together. And also the men, thank you for standing with us. In most difficult times, we work together. Just as the women members of parliament, WOPA, we have an organization called WOPA, and they are the ones who support us. We've agreed to move together with men. It's not only the women who are in that organization. We also have sister brothers in WOPA. So to all Ugandans, thank you so much, and wish you the best on this great day for the women.
In a minute, Justine, your message to the women?
Thank you so much, Priscilla, and I want also to take this opportunity to speak out to the women out there that since we are talking about technology, please, it's no longer the thing for the other people or the whites or whatever. It is with us. So let's all take up the advantages, any opportunity that comes. Let's empower. So sometimes someone will not come and just pull your hand. Sometimes you need to do it yourself. If an opportunity happens, please take on. Let's take on the advantages of technology, and but also I want to urge the entire community, let's respect women and girls, because these are our mothers. These are everything. I mean, you either have a mother or a sister or whatever. So let's respect women at all levels, physical, digital, or whatever. Let's not misuse the technology that we've been given, but let's help ourselves to improve and partake on its advantages.
All right, thank you so much, Justine.
Back to the UNED team, I love you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for the work.
All right, thank you so much for your contributions to this discussion. It's been very informative. At the end of the day, a collective effort for everyone to actually remove the barriers that are faced by women in engaging in the digital space, innovation and technology for gender equality. That wraps up the conversations for us here on Morning at NTV.